All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So, going to kind of go a little bit more in depth to one of the processes that I use whenever I do come out here and shoot any kind of distance. That is something that's very important, and it's your data book. So, it's very important to keep data on what the bullets are doing that day, how you shot that day, what the conditions were outside, temperature, wind, barometric pressure, so on and so forth. Start out real quick going over the different ways that I gather data for things. As I use this little Kestrel meter here. So whenever I'm actually gathering wind, I'll just kind of stand here, figure out what direction it's going, which in this case it's a quarter value, so it's coming at me at an angle like this. I'm shooting that direction at about 3.3 miles an hour gusts, and it's averaging about 2.5 miles an hour down at my position. Now up the tops of the trees it's a little bit faster, but the bullet is not meeting an apex at that height. It's meeting an apex of about maybe max 4 feet off the ground, if that. So I'm gonna kind of go into how exactly that I gather data for this. So I will stand and just kind of a good 15-20 seconds of wind gathered, and then you can come over and toggle through the different areas on it. You can see my max wind, so my gust was 3.8 miles an hour. Average is really 1.4, 1.5, but that's kind of stopped. I'll kind of toggle over to the average and work it at that, and that's actually what I will write down on my data card. Now you can see, kind of see if I can get this in camera right. Got 3/4 of a wind for 543, so 0.75 hold for the one that I'm getting for 2.5, then 0.5, same thing all the way down, even all the way up to 326. And then 266 is a quarter minute of wind. So basically that's just holding the right edge of the target. Usually it's letting me somewhere close center mass, so I'm kind of getting what I want with it. It is very important to pay attention to actually what the wind is doing and how it reacts. Another important thing you want to be able to gather, which these actually do, is your barometric pressure. So you can see it's 30.1718, somewhere in there right now, which is what I've got annotated down on the book there for you. Another thing that's very important for you to be able to gather, depending on the altitude that you're at, you want to kind of get averages, and that's what a lot of what I've set. On the high end, mine will be right around there. On the low end, I'll be 29, 80s, somewhere in there. So I usually set it for right around 30 even. And then get my averages like that, and even out to 1,000 yards, that's putting me 3 inches high or 3 inches low from my center hold. So it's not changing a whole lot even out to those extreme distances, so it's not really going to matter too much. But if you do go to a much higher elevation with lower air density, you're going to have to reshoot all of your velocities and figure out what your gun is doing at those specific altitudes and temperatures again. But again, if you've in a certain AO, you know where you're going to be at, you can kind of set something for your area and work it at that and practice. And then if you do go to another area, that's whenever you kind of skin that cat and worry about your different elevations there. But as far as layout goes, so this is kind of how I have everything laid out. So I'll have the kind of a range card drawn out because what's there. I'll do like that signaling white. It's got tan on it, green, 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 and green. So elevation holds or dials, so in this case it's 3.5 minutes all the way up to 13 minutes for 543 from 266. And then kind of on them I will write the wind that I'm doing for my average, and then of course your environmentals, you've got your temperature 78 degrees Fahrenheit, your barometric pressure, wind, and then notes, kind of letting you know what's going on today. Now kind of keep everything stupid simple, something that's clean and neat and you're able to kind of understand. You can mark out the lines and get everything ready ahead of time, kind of just leave the areas that you're gonna have to write blank. Leave yourself a little section for a range card blank. I actually believe I might have, yep. So you can leave it blank like that, so you can just kind of write it out as you get to the field, kind of keep everything a little bit easier for you. Have yourself a section for your distances, and then an extra space for notes as well, and then you can kind of carry it over onto another page if you need more area to write notes. But let's go ahead and get over to the range and see how this works in practice. All right, now I do apologize. I did forget to bring my secondary camera. I was going to have it filming down range. I annotated as a thumbnail on the main portion of the shooting video for you guys, so you can see exactly what I'm seeing down range. But I will annotate some pictures of the impacts that I do get, so you guys can actually see how well these do produce results for you. The targets I'm going to be shooting at, so I'm going to be shooting at the green one at 450 on out to 543. I'll do 2 rounds a piece on these guys to kind of give you an idea of how well this data works for you. All right, I'm gonna give it a slight right hold. So it looks like I've got just a hair bit of a wind down there, not much. Yep, all right. Go ahead and go on out to the next one, which will be 502, 11.5. Yep. All right, 543, 13 even. All right, wind change directions on me down there. Still. Yep. All right, go ahead and send one more. Yep. All right, but as you can see, the data that you do get out of this, it actually does produce rather accurate results for you. Helps you be able to get hits down range fairly accurately. A lot more goes into it than just the environmental. You're going to have to get velocities at the specific temperature, so on and so forth. That's data that you're going to have to actually go out and shoot and gather using a chronograph. But once you do get all that data together, it does make it a lot easier for you to just kind of plug and play into your Blitz computer and get accurate dope out of for you. So go ahead and I'm going to go get some pictures of this so I can annotate them in the video for you guys. And yep, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, happy shooting.